You know, there's dumping on your villain, and then there's quite literally dumping on your villain.
Thank you to our $5 patrons, Sinners Lancelot and Arcoon. And a big thank you to our $25 patron, the Mr. Greed. Now, before we have this review of Chapter 82 of Dragon Ball Super, please do me a favor, leave your own thoughts on the chapter in the comment section down below, leave a like, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, make sure that little notification bell so you miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below where you can support me for as low as $1 a month. Any support would be appreciated. Now, let's get into it. What's up guys, Sago Pencil here, and here we are to Chapter 82 of Dragon Ball Super, which is known as Bardock versus Gas. And it's a cool notion that for once the title of the chapter is at the end of the chapter, but like the fight that the titular fight of the chapter doesn't happen until the last 7 pages of it. And we don't even really get much of it other than like a few kicks and a block. I don't know. This whole chapter just feels weird to me, right? Because this establishing, it has things in it that I like, but at the same time, it has things in it that's just weird. Let's just get into it. So we open up, and we get to see that Goku and Gas are still having their little dash around the universe, right? They end up landing on a barren planet. I'm not actually sure. I guess this place has to have an atmosphere because Goku doesn't die immediately. But then again, they don't spend too well. Actually, no, they spend a decent time here. They spend at least 1 page of punches and kicks. So they land on this planet. It's these two. These are the two Galactic Patrol members that I believe at the beginning of the arc were sent to investigate. I think my brain went to say excavate, and then I said investigate, and they combined. But the thing is, they were the ones sent to go investigate the remains of 7-3 and see if there were any, I'm pretty sure at the start of the arc. And they didn't find them, and that's how Granola was able to get him and give him to the Heaters. And speaking of, we never necessarily got a continue. Oh, is that what? I mean, Alec could do that. I could see that. Because the main thing I've been wondering, right, is whether or not, especially with this chapter, whether or not Alec is going to betray Gas, and if so, how? And I suppose the easiest way to betray Gas would be to actually have a robot that will follow your every command and not have a sentient creature. So what Alec may have his 7-3 copy do is grab Gas, since he's now the strongest in the universe, grab him on the back of the neck, then have all that bio data stored up from the different copies, well, not the different copies, but have all the bio data stored up from his previous fights, like his Moreau data. I think he has Piccolo, he has Vegeta data, so 7-3 does have a lot of like raw data in him, and who knows, he may even still have Mirror's data, so it's entirely possible that all that is in there. So we could hypothetically see, because notably this chapter alludes to a lot, and I'll get to that when I get to that, but those two, they teleport there because Goku can sense their life energy, and see, the weird thing is, right, especially with what's portrayed in this narrative, unless Goku, like, I know Saiyans grow extremely fast, right? That's the entire gimmick, and that gimmick went, well, actually, no, there are times, even way back in DBZ, where characters made huge leaps in power, whether off a little energy boost or not. One of the most egregious examples I remember is just Namek Goku, after getting beat up by Ginyu, getting a 33 times Zenkai boost. Like, it's crazy. But Goku, in blue, and I think he's in blue UI, I think that's the thing, like, he still is in blue UI, but even still, a Goku, while extremely fatigued and receiving energy from base Vegeta, and we know how little energy that is based off what we saw in the last arc, he's somehow managing to contest with a fully fresh Gas, who is beyond and in control of his awakened primal power that made him the quote-unquote strongest in the universe. Am I missing something? Is something strange here? The fact that Goku is able to block his kicks and not, like, get his arm blown off? Like, I know power scaling in Dragon Ball Super is a crazy thing. Like, people will they'll make leaps upon leaps in strength, but it's just crazy how Goku's doing this in blue. It'd be one thing if he was, like, blocking in MUI, like the strongest form he has, but no, he's in blue. Not even, and to be fair, who knows, maybe this is mastered blue, because he doesn't have any aura. But at the same time, he doesn't have any aura because he barely got any healing. The man's still beat up to oblivion. So I don't get how he's keeping up with Gas at all. Like, I get he's outpacing Gas in the intertransmission. The intertransmission stuff is fine because that's just That's the nature of this current fight going on here. But in actual combat, I have no idea how Goku's keeping up with Gas. How do y'all feel about that? I know the like button is free, by the way. How do y'all feel about that? Do you think it makes sense for Goku to be like literally exchanging blows with Gas right now, even though he should be way, way, way weaker? I don't know. I don't want to hear. Tell me that in the comment section down below. But of course, before even the Galactic Patrol soldiers can ask any questions, they're gone and they're on this different planet. And notably, I can't necessarily remember what that planet is. I feel like we've seen that guy before. That penguin dude, we've seen him somewhere else. But I don't remember when or where. And it may just be a Toriyama design that I've seen someplace in passing that I just don't remember the name of. And we don't even spend, we spend one panel there, really. Well, actually, no, we spend 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 panels. Well, technically just 2 before they teleport away. And then they teleport to another, what looks like another Galactic Patrol station. Then they do this exchange of kicks. And then once again, unless I'm mistaken, who knows, maybe Gas is still trying to get that feeling he got with Bardock, right? Or maybe he's still trying to get that out, even though he says that he tries to do everything his brother says quickly. So that kick that he has an even exchange with Blue Goku in terms of kicking, and somehow Goku still has his knee intact. Do you guys remember what Gas did to both of Granola's arms with one kick? When he was apparently, y'all did explain, he was trying to save him for Elect to finish. He shattered both of Granola's arms after he was healed, I think, if not fully, at least close to fully, more healing than Goku got. Goku got energy from an extremely fatigued, highly damaged base Vegeta, and he went blue, and somehow he's taking these hits. I don't know. Let me get off of that. I know my non-power skills out there hey, shut up, move on to the actual plot. The thing is, there isn't actually much plot here, but we get to see they teleport once again, and Gas declares that Goku can't escape him. And here's the thing, right? I'm not saying Toyotaro struggles with this. No, because that's just a perception thing. But they teleport in, right? And then they look to be in some sort of wasteland, and as Gas declares that Goku cannot escape him, out of nowhere he gets poop dumped on him. And this is Monaka's planet, ironically enough. I think if that's not Monaka himself, this is one of Monaka's people, which is cool to see. That's always cool. But once again, my thing is, right? Strongest in the universe. Should have insane perceptionary abilities. You're telling me he didn't take into account his environment at all? And not even that. You're telling me this dump that was thrown on him was so fast that he couldn't dodge it? I mean, maybe he didn't care, but at the same time, he should have blitzed. How do you not even, legitimately, that's not even peripheral vision. If you were to spawn in at the distance that they were, you would have noticed the truck there. Unless that truck perception blitz Gas, the strongest in the, that's the thing. The title strongest in the universe, kind of ever since I'd say right after the Ultra Ego reveal, the strongest in the universe title kind of just went away. It doesn't matter. The gap or the title itself doesn't seem to mean anything. Because they apparently have poor sensory abilities, they can't fight, and they have lack of awareness. And once again, since Gas got poop dumped on him, Goku's hey, don't worry, it's cool. That's what you get for warping recklessly, but you can go clean up in the river. And that's the thing, right? I know what Goku's endgame is here, but at the same time, how am I, as a reader, supposed to be invested in this fight if Goku himself isn't? He's literally telling his opponent, go ahead, go take a bath. I'll be waiting here for you so we can continue our fight that I don't want to do. I don't know. It's the disinterest. It's not I wouldn't say Toyotaro and Toriyama are disinterested in this arc. They've been way too interested in it, if you ask me. This has been going on for way too long. And the thing, technically it hasn't, because I think it started around 70. So no, it hasn't been going on for too long, but it just feels like it's dragging. If you have to resort to this, dumping poop on him, okay. And then, of course, Gas ignores it, and he lunges in, and then we end up in the Galactic headquarters with the Galactic King, and then Goku, and once again, does Goku throw him down? Yeah, Goku, I think, throws him down into the bath. But, and here's the thing, right? The thing that I like about this is that Goku's being a savage, right? And, it's rare. Goku doesn't typically insult his opponents this way. This is, styling on his opponents is much more of a Vegeta-type thing to do. So it's always cool to see Goku, flexing, using his experience. Something that in Dragon Ball, considering everyone is a master martial artist, no one really like flexes on each other outside of just raw power. But Goku is specifically using technique, positioning, location, all that stuff in order to style on Gas here. And that's very, very cool. But at the same time, at least for now, this is our big bad. This is our endgame villain. And so far, he's been pooped on and dunked into a tub. Like, I don't know, am I supposed to take this seriously? I'm like, this entire chapter feels like a running joke. Like, I don't necessarily get it. And it only gets worse from here, because we move on, right? Like, and like, Gas, and I know this is Toriyama, right? So like this, it's technically a part of Dragon Ball. But like, what jokes were being made in the middle of the Cell fight? What jokes were being made, like, in the middle of the Perfect Cell fight? What jokes were being made in the middle of the Frieza fight? What jokes were being made in the middle of Vegeta? Like, I get it. Slice of life, funny, jokey stuff. But, like, Gas literally raises his head out of the tub like a cartoon villain. I just don't get it. Like, it feels like we're just... And maybe we're still stalling. Who knows? Like, especially considering what's implied with Elise later on in this chapter. Maybe this isn't the final big bad, but, like... It just feels so strange. And of course, we cut away, and we're back on Planet Cereal. And we get to see that Alec lands down, and he's like, huh, now where did those two go? And we get to see that while Monahito's healing Granola, they're kind of wondering where Goku and Gas went. And Vegeta is the only one to realize, since he knows instant transmission and how Goku would use it in this scenario, he's using, well, also he has the sensory perception, which is cool. It's good. It's always cool to see once again, it's minor, still technical stuff that I like in this chapter. It shows how Goku and Vegeta, two experienced martial artists or two experienced fighters that have been using ki for a majority of their lives, except maybe not Vegeta. I think Vegeta, what? He was like 20, he was like in his 30s when he showed up on Earth, I think. I forget. But maybe not Vegeta, but still, he has been using ki sensing for such a long time that his range with it has expanded drastically. So he can sense where they are, but they can't. So, I don't know, I just like that's cool, because I think these guys have key sensory abilities too. It's not like they're stupid. So, and obviously Gas has some degree of it, because he can actually sense where Goku's going, and he could use instant transmission. But their range isn't good enough because they don't have the experience. I think that's cool. However, we see that for some reason, like, maybe Vegeta is too weak, right? But if I'm Vegeta here, I'm taking this time that Goku gave me to eliminate the weaker ones. Like, I don't know, like, he couldn't at least go Super Saiyan or something? Like, did he really give up every last drop of his energy that he can only stand there and gawk at the heaters and or gawk at the idea that Goku's buying time? And you can't do anything? Like, I'm not exactly sure how strong Alec is. I'm not sure how strong Maki is or Oil, but I feel like they could know. Like, Vegeta, obviously your sensing is strong, so can't you... I feel like it'd be a calculated risk, a calculated decision to fire a final flash in their general direction and hope for the best. I don't know. And the same thing with the heaters. Like, sure, they're gone, but while Gas is taking care of Goku, you have one of your biggest threats right in front of you being healed. And if he turns around and attacks you again, your main bodyguard is gone. Maybe you should at least shoot the guy who's healing him. Sure, say you don't want to mess with the Saiyan there because you don't know his limits and you may not have ki sensing, even though I feel like they should. At least stop the Namekian from healing your biggest threat right now. Why are you doing that? But of course, we don't spend long there. We only spend about a page before we hop back to the Goku and Granola fight, where these two, I keep saying Goku and Granola. So many G's in this darn arc. But Goku and Gas, and now they're in the galactic prison, right? And they stop here to actually exchange words and throw hands. Exchange hands and throw words. But we get to see that Gas is like, yo, chill out. Stop warping everywhere. This is stupid. And I love how Goku, like, that's the thing, I like it, right? Because I like how playful Goku is. I like how savage he's being. But at the same time, it's like, he doesn't care. Like, was Goku against Jiren being like, hey, ha ha ha, I teleported you in the poop, ha ha ha, I made you grab the Galactic King's wee-wee. And like he didn't do any of that. And sure, he didn't have the availability to, but he wasn't like clowning on Jiren. He wasn't clowning on Frieza. I mean, he was clowning on Frieza at times, but it was in a cool way, gosh darn it. He was invested in the fight. Meanwhile, Goku here is kind of just like, I'm better than you, woohoo, and running away. And I don't blame him, but at the same time, it's weird. But then we get to see that Gas is like annoyed that Goku's still going on about that, and he's just not picking up on what Goku's doing here. And we see these guys from the Moral arc. They're the ones that were in the gang with 7-3. I think they were the ones that stole him in the first place. I'm pretty sure that's who they were. So they noticed that, hey, wait a minute. And I think that's cool. I do like how the intergalactic underworld, if you will, is all connected to the point where they recognize him. And notably, they specifically recognize it as, I mean, he had the same long hair when he was young, but they specifically recognize it as Gas and don't just assume it's another member of his species or his race or his clan or whatever you want to call it. I feel like for some reason the Dragon Ball verse is very particular about using the word species. Like they always call it the Saiyan race, the Frieza race or clan. It's like I mean maybe, but these are different species. And of course we get to see these guys offering Gas as they recognize him, like, hey, Buster Sana here. You don't like Goku? We don't like Goku. We jump Goku. Then we can call up the homie SSJ9K and call it Froku. And like I get it, but of course Gas is like, yeah, let's not. I don't need that. And of course, like once again, it's the lack of like I can't be the only one who sits here and feels like this battle has no stakes, right? Like, and I'm not talking about the prime beef. I'm talking about just general stakes. Like, what is the narrative heft here? What's the like? I don't feel engrossed in the story because it doesn't even feel like the characters are. Like, we get Gas apparently peed on himself when he first met this game. Funny? I don't know. Like, even when I first read it, right? And notably, I'm not that complicated. I don't need complex, higher level, multi-crafted jokes. I laugh at stupid stuff all the time. You've heard what I've laughed at. You hear the jokes I make. Like, this isn't a complicated thing. But when I read it, I was just like, really? Like, this is the way we're going? And here's the thing. It's not even a one-off joke either, right? Like, Toriyama and Toyotaro take up a whole 2 pages of this threat with what we should assume for right now is the big bad. This is what we're doing here. We're assuming this, and we have Gas just repeatedly saying, "I did not urinate on myself. I did not urinate on myself. I did not urinate on myself. Okay, I urinated on myself a little bit." And like it's to the point where even Goku himself is like, "Well, dang, you really did wet yourself." Like he's but where? Like this chapter feels like it belongs earlier in the arc, even though this is like the main enemy of the arc, except for like maybe Alec himself. I don't know. Doesn't it feel strange? Like I can't be the only one who feels like this chapter, at least tone wise, doesn't fit here. Like what? This is supposed to end in the next couple months, right? This is like nigh on climax level stuff we're getting into. I'm pretty sure. Like we've at least had enough build up for it to be climax time. With it ending soon, I'm just simply sitting here wondering, like, huh? Like, what's happening? Am I nuts? What does the tone just feel weird to anyone else? You know, the like button is free. I'd really appreciate if you press the like button. It helps the channel out a lot. But still, I'm sitting here wondering, where's the tone? Where's the urgency? Where's anything? If we're able to make pee jokes, I don't. It just doesn't feel right. And I guess maybe that's the point, right? Maybe this is Toriyama's genius. But I'm like, this arc, it's gonna have to have the most bomb perfect tie into everything ending ever for me to not like this is just, it's just not, it doesn't feel right at all. I'm not really enjoying the actual text itself. Like I have to be reading into subtext. I have to be taking smaller details and interpreting things in certain ways. And to be fair, probably that's what people want or the authors want, but still it just feels wrong. And we get to see that Oil got out his little computer and is now checking on Gas's location, and we see that while they picked up on the fact that Gas was in the galactic prison, they were far away, and Alec is calling Gas an idiot. And to be fair, yes, like Alec has ordered Gas to get rid of the Saiyan. Getting rid of the Saiyan is not this complicated. Like legitimately, give me, like, say, turn me into Gas, right? And you tell me, yo, bro, see that dude over there? He's really weak right now. If you do me a favor, just get him out of here. The strongest in the universe. You just transformed and then got your power under control. All the good stuff. Just go get it done, right? I'd be like, shoot, all right, bet. Like I wouldn't I would have instant transmissioned right next to Goku and blasted his head off. Like, this isn't necessarily the most complex of functions, especially if I'm following Gas's logic, right? Because notably, in this chapter itself, when Goku asks on their next leap, like, so, you just do everything your big brother says? You're way stronger than him. I bet you can make your own choices. And we see that Gas's response is, I seek power for Elect's sake. I follow his commands in order to make the Heaters the supreme organization in the universe. So he has no free will of his own. Essentially, Gas aptly put, I think it was Moscow X, I'll admit, because now I try to watch other reviews before I record mine, because I know if I come out raw with some of my thoughts, I sound toxic. Like, I've listened to some on my first go on some reviews, I'm like, woo, jeez, watch yourself. But in this case, I believe Moscow called Gas a meat puppet, and it's because he is. He has no autonomy. He has no desire for autonomy, even after becoming this powerful. But in that very case, if he is truly just a meat puppet, why is Goku still alive? Strongest in the universe. It's strongest in the universe is like Bardock being the fastest in the universe. Like, it must just be a lie, right? It can't be the case, because if Gas is truly out here with killer intent trying to get rid of Goku, he shouldn't be dodging these people. Sorry, the power scale snuck back into me. I can't help it. He'd be sneaking up on me. He'd be taking control of my body for a little bit. I gotta stop the power scaler. However, we get to see that Goku actually kind of sees where he's coming from. He's like, okay, I get it. You respect your big brother. And Gas goes on to further explain that he was once the weakest of them. So Alec made him this strong, so he wants to pay him back for it. And once again, Gas, strongest in the universe, if Alec's will is so absolute, why are you talking with this Saiyan and not executing this Saiyan? Or at least, power scaler, stop. But the like button is free, so please don't stop pressing that. I'm sorry, I'm going to keep saying it. But we get to see that Goku brings up a very interesting point. And once again, I like that. I like bringing up Raditz. Like, there's so many things. I'm so torn on this chapter because I really don't like the tone of the chapter. I don't like how weak Gas seems. I don't like the whole ton of things in this chapter that haven't even happened yet. But at the same time, I love little mentions like this. I love callbacks to Raditz. I love the idea of Goku being the Savage. I love the idea of the interplanetary leap across Universe 7. That's a cool concept. There's so many cool concepts and ideas here, but it's covered with, for lack of a better term, poop. Like, straight up. It's pooped all over by the weird tone and the lack of consistency. And of course, we get to see that when Maki asks Alec, well, what are we going to do now that Gas is just dipping out? We notice that obviously there's an opportunity here. There's a Namekian healing a Cerulean, and there's a Saiyan that hasn't attacked you yet. Maybe with your gun that's strong enough to shoot through granola, you should get the blasting. But we see that Alec says they're going to mop up the stragglers before they actually get into anything else. Alec, why couldn't you do that before you checked up on Gas? But whatever. We got to make status reports, I guess. And then we get to see that Manaito is still focused on healing, and Oil and Maki go to rough him up, but then we cut away again. And we cut back to Goku, and now they're just on some random asteroid, but there are, well, actually, no, it's a planet. It is a planet, because there are squid people there. And Gas blasts off. I'm pretty sure it is Gas blasting, and Goku catches it. Once again, stop, power skill. You've heard my arguments. You've heard me complain. I'm going to stop. But Bluku manages to catch the beam, block it, and I'm not sure how big this planetoid is, but if this is an actual planet and not just like a visiting spot that has these aliens stopping on it, Cass just blew a see-through hole in an entire planet. That's kind of crazy. It's not crazy on like a feat sense, but it's crazy that Goku kind of just let it happen. Like, he didn't expect Gas to stop firing. He didn't take the blast with him and like throw it somewhere else. It was just like, yeah, forget it. Let the planet be destroyed. And he teleports into this. Like, notably, I mean, it makes sense. Of course, there's going to be a lot of Galactic Patrol members just traveling in between planets, so it makes sense that Goku has life signatures to pick up on. And I believe this is the Galactic Patrol soldier who was with Vegeta on planet Yardrat. I think that's who that is. I'm pretty sure. I'm confident. Because I remember that he was like with Vegeta when he was trying to do the instant transmission back to Earth. And notably, we get to see that Goku is finally acknowledging the fact that, hey, it makes no sense that I'm keeping up with gas somehow. I can't keep this up much longer. And then the Galactic Patrol member who recognizes him gets to say his name before Goku just disappears. And because he sends to somebody. And then Gas misses by the width of a hair's breadth. And we see on this strange other planet, like, wait, is this a strange other planet or is this Earth? I can't actually tell. Hold on. I think this is another planet. I don't recognize these creatures. So maybe not. Maybe it's not Earth? I don't know. Dinosaurs? Nah, but dinosaurs don't have multiple eyes like that. So I wonder, Whis actually found good food on another planet. I for some reason, I wasn't expecting that. It's weird. And I know Whis is not technically bound to Beerus. I know he can do things without Beerus, but at the same time, it's weird to see those two apart. So is Beerus just asleep back on Beerus's planet, I guess? But of course, as Whis is eating, he sees Goku and Gas randomly pop up, and he's like, hey, thanks. Well, Goku's like, hey, thanks, Whis. I didn't know you were hanging out in this realm. And that's a question we'll have to get into after this very specific scenario. But of course, we see that Whis is shocked to see him, and he flies over. And is like, okay, why have you come to me? And Gas is shocked that, one, Goku came here, obviously, and two, that this person knows Goku, and three, that Goku's not running anymore. So he must be under the assumption that this is someone important. And Goku quickly explains, like, oh, yeah, this is my master, who also happens to be an angel. And my fault, Whis. Hate to do this to your homeboy, but can I leave this guy with you for a minute? And I love, this is cool though. I do like, once again, Goku is so cool in this chapter, but it just doesn't feel like he's cool in styling, not in a traditional way, which is always cool to see. But at the same time, it seems like like the context doesn't make sense. But I like what he's doing because he doesn't even wait for Whis. Like he mentally blitzes Whis to the point where he just said, he doesn't even wait for an answer. Whis goes, huh? And all Goku does is says, see you later, Gas, and vanishes. And he vanishes all the way back. All the way back to Planet Cereal. And the thing is, right, I'm trying to look for the moment where Whis could have done it. So I guess where is Whis located relative to Goku? Because he flies out of the thing, he gets next to him. So no, he's never even right next to Goku. So I guess he must have blitzed him so badly that he placed the tracker on him somewhere in between. Maybe he may have placed it right before Goku instant transmission, I guess. So maybe the hum was a fake out or something. But of course, since Goku's all the way back here, and Goku was the only energy signature that was large enough that Gas could trace across interplanetary distances, Gas realizes that he just got played. And we see that Maki and Oil took way too long. Golly gee willikers, I'm shocked. Maybe instead of getting your little game PlayStation out, you should have killed them. Or at least, like I said, at least kill Monaito. Like, I get it. Maybe you don't want to fight Vegeta, who for some reason isn't fighting you. But why would you waste all that time when you could have just killed Monaito? And like, it's not like why I'm kind of low-key praying on the old man's downfall. But still, it's so strange. And of course, Maki and Oil, they're shocked to see Goku back here before Gas. And they just go away because they know they can't fight Goku right now. And Gas is still with Whis and is wondering, where did he go? And you can see he's struggling to sense. And once again, that goes to the cool idea that the like button is free and that Goku has superior sensory abilities to Gas because he's more experienced with them. Gas may have just gotten this ability and has a very basic level of it despite being the strongest, because strength doesn't necessarily correlate to skill. I mean, that's cool. However, Whis, and like once again, this is just strength. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but it doesn't. Because Whis snitches. Snitches, like, horridly. I'm like, angels aren't allowed to interfere, right? So I get why he doesn't fight Gas. But remember in the Broly movie? It's not like this is like, think about this, right? This is like if in the Broly movie, when Goku and Vegeta went off to fuse, instead of Whis dancing around with Broly to keep him from destroying the planet or anything like that, or like going nuts, he just tells Broly, hey, follow me, and drags Broly all the way halfway across the planet to Goku and Vegeta. Like, he legit says to Gas, oh, if you want to know, they're on planet Cereal, and it's too great of a distance for you to warp directly. And then once again, see, it's cool, right? Because I like Whis', like, Whis has this, like, kind of shocked yet happy look on his face. And I know it's because he's like, wow, I didn't think Goku could think of something like that. Like, that was a smart play. But then in the same breath, in the same sentence, Whis goes like, no, not in the same sentence. But when Gas asks, which way is planet Cereal? Whis actually points the proper direction. Like, Whis, broski. What? Like, I legitimately, I'm actually confused. I don't get why he did that. And I can think of a reason, right? Like, hypothetically, maybe he just wants to use this as an experience to train the kids. But he didn't use Broly that way. And regardless, Gas was going to find his way back. So, like, wait, you couldn't just point it in the opposite direction? Like, what? And isn't this directly interfering in the affairs of mortals? Like, this isn't training. You're literally sending off someone to go kill your students. I don't get Whis' prerogative here. It just, it made no, like, when I first read it, I had a double take. I'm not gonna lie to you. I straight read it and then saw Gas fly off, and then I turned back, like, I literally, because on Viz Manga, where you should go read your manga, viz.com, Shonen Jump, they released the manga monthly. I literally went to the next page, because I have, like, an auto reading format in my head where I'll just read and I'll click the next page, read to the next page, and then on a reread I'll go back. But this literally broke my cognition. Like, on some Persona 5 stuff, my cognition literally flipped. Like, wait a minute. That didn't make sense. Let me make sure I read that right. And yes, Goku not only snitched on where planet Cereal was. No, he did 3 separate types of snitches. He told Gas where Goku was. He told Gas that it was going to be too far a distance for him to warp directly. And 3, he told Gas that which way to go. A triple snitch. That's a 3 for 1. That's the ultimate combo steal right there. Why? And notably, the only good thing to come out of this whole interaction, at least to me, because notably he says, oh my, why couldn't he have stayed for a more leisurely visit? Like, because Whis, he's trying to kill your students. Like, what? I would love to say that Whis didn't know, but he saw Goku battle damaged. He saw him with a whole hole in his chest, or at least a hole in the clothing of his chest. His symbol ain't even on him no more. You think he's fighting this dude for fun? Like, he ran all the way to you for fun. Like, that was just weirdly mean of Whis. Like, all he had to do was sit there. Like, Whis didn't have to say a darn word. All the man had to do to be an actual decent angel being is like, sorry, can't interfere in the affair of mortals. I don't know what's going on. You got to figure your own way back, kiddo. Like, and then it would have been fine too, because they have some tracker on Gas. I think they literally say he has a communicator. So let me see. What's next? Let's never mind for now, though. Let's mop up now. Before that, what does... Because for some reason, they go to pull out the PlayStation. So let's see what he says and go pull out the PlayStation. Oil, get a lock... Yeah, Oil, get a lock on Gas's position via the tracker in his comms device. So literally, all Whis had to do was say, oh, planet Cereal is that way. And then Gas starts to go the wrong way. Then Alec comes over the comm we know he has and is like, dum-dum, opposite direction. And Gas goes the opposite way. I mean, it would have been a diversion, but it's better than Whis just being uncharacteristically mean. I don't know. It just, once again, it feels weird. However, once again, let me cut back to the only cool thing to come out of this interaction is that Whis is like, well, that was an event. It wasn't its Oracle Fish. And notably, the Oracle Fish, having seen the entire interaction, is just like, who's that? And I guess the Oracle Fish, like, the dreams that the Oracle Fish has aren't specific enough for... This is one of two things, right? Either the dreams that the Oracle Fish has is not specific enough for him to actually recognize who the strongest of the universe was. Because notably, he didn't... I mean, then again, Goku didn't meet the Oracle Fish in Battle of Gods or the anime adaptation of it. So maybe he knew exactly what the Super Saiyan God looked like, but just didn't say anything or didn't describe him. Like, and notably, I don't think there's ever a moment in the manga where Goku shows up and sees the Oracle Fish, and the Oracle Fish is like, oh, hey, Beerus, that's your rival. Train him up, and then he'll beat you up. Like, he never says that. So maybe this is just a red herring that's to make us think that, oh, something deeper is going on here, when really the Oraclefish just doesn't know. Like, that was the strongest in the universe, and that's it. And or, based off Whis' reaction of, even Whis assumed that was the strongest in the universe. So maybe this just means there's going to be another one. Maybe someone's going to make another wish, or maybe the Moro 7-3 thing. Well, not Moro 7-3, but 7-3 is going to pop back up and take Gas's powers, maybe take Granola's powers. Then we're going to have a big team up where they all defeat 7-3. Because the big thing that this chapter is essentially foreshadowing is that Alec is going to betray him. But I've been calling Alec is going to betray Gas pretty much since we darn saw him. So this isn't all too special for me. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's cool. You won't hear me complaining about it happening, but at the same time, Whis, stop being mean. And then we get to see that. And wait a minute. Hold on. This is the other thing I need to complain about. I almost forgot. I'm sorry. You know, like, but it's free. I know y'all probably don't want to like the video considering how much I'm complaining. But I'm just trying to be honest with you. I try to give you my honest, in-depth thoughts whenever I read these things. And whenever I go to review something, I want you to review everything so y'all know my thoughts on it. But Goku, you can teleport to King Kai's. You can teleport across realms. Or even if not, right? King Kai has full access to the entire North Galaxy and likely the entire verse. Let's be real. Because he can contact Goku on Namek. And Namek, I mean, should reasonably be farther away than anything else. So the question is, especially New Namek, he can teleport all the way to New Namek, but he can't, like, Goku, why don't you, instead of staying here, maybe go back to Earth and get some sensu beans or something. Like, even if you don't take everyone there with you, which I think would be the better option, because then essentially they're home free. Like, that's actually stupid now that I think about it. Like, Goku, grab everyone, dip out, and be done with it. Like, you don't even care about the fight, obviously, so leave. For one. And if not that, say you're like, oh, Gas is the strongest in the universe, he may be a threat, he may come to Earth if he can find us. Teleport to Earth, or at least get King Kai to point you into the direction of Earth since you know he's there, and then zoom over there, grab a sensu bean, munch that bad boy up, and then whoop Gas. Or at least there at least has to be 3 sensu beans on Earth. Like, there's no way you're telling me that after all this time, there's not 3 sensu beans on Earth. They didn't even take many. What, didn't they take only 2? I think, right? Because Goku had the first bean and Vegeta had the second. So, well, no, Vegeta didn't have the second, he gave it to Granola. But you're telling me there were only 2 beans left on Earth, Goku? That's it? Or you couldn't take them back to Earth, Goku? Even though we've seen you teleport literally between the realm of the living and the dead multiple times? Casually? When you were literally likely infinitely weaker? Come on now, Goku. Come on now. Come on. Like, and the thing is, right, because the instant transmission Jumpty Jump is gone. It's over. It's dead. Now, to be fair, I knew I was expecting too much of Taro and Toriyama, and so was the guy in that comment section. We were expecting too much of them to actually use other characters. Like, let's be real. There was no way Broly was going to show up. Let's be honest. No way they were going to get help. No way they were going to go to a place. Even though Broly is being built up to being Dragon Ball superhero and to be training with Beerus, you know, we couldn't build that up here in the manga, and or we couldn't just use that, right? And the thing is, one of the things that I will always give Dragon Ball flack for is that even if it introduces a new powerful character, that character will likely never appear again, even if it's fully reasonable why they should be. Like Gohan, post TOP, should be everywhere. Let's be real. Like Goku, tag back to Earth and be like, hey Gohan, let's roll through. Like, do something like Broly. You had a whole movie explaining how he was the mightiest in the universe unfused. Like, that was the whole thing there. You think the person with the capability to become the mightiest and the current mightiest, would it be a cool fight? Toriyama? And, like, the thing is, I'll get to that when I get to that. I'll get to that when you get to that towards the end of the chapter. But essentially, the instant transmission super leap across the galaxy didn't lead to anything cool. It just led to a time jump, or no, stalling, and we snitching. That's it. Kind of whack if you ask me. And then another weird thing. Goku, apparently Granola's scouter can turn into a robot, and it got way bigger. Like the scouter, I mean, that may just be a perspective thing. But the Scouter eye patch oatmeal thing, it's bigger than Vegeta's head. Like, the thing that used to go on Granola's head is bigger than the entire, like, the eye part that Granola used to see through is the size of Vegeta's face. I can get it turning into a robot, but it's driving a car. What's going on right now? I'm just confused. And like, Goku sums up the entire chapter. That's neat. Like, it's okay. I don't know. It just feels weird. And like, we're letting, and notably Maki, being the only person with some common sense in this arc, is like, heads up, they're on the run. Should we unleash our inner natures and fight them? I mean, you had all that time to do that while they were galaxy jumping. You're telling me you couldn't do that before that? And Alec, you shot through Granola. They're all weakened right now. They should at least be weaker than that Granola that you shot through. I mean, unless Granola getting his arms broken really was that bad. The whole chapter just feels like we were escalating. And then we just, like, the chapter hard resets, essentially, from this point on, right? Because the Heaters aren't pursuing the Saiyans and Manaito, and they had all that time to kill them. Like, meanwhile, right now, what's stopping Alec? Unless his gun for some reason, has a really close range. What's stopping Alec from seeing them get into that car, pulling out his pistol, and shooting Manaito in the head? Is there something stopping him? Am I tripping? Like, is there something actually stopping him? Because that's right now, since Goku's for some reason didn't decide to hobbit back to Earth to grab some senzu beans, Manaito is their only way of healing. And only way of healing the current threat. And depending on the level, depending on your lack of knowledge on how far away you are, or how far away your only combat asset is, according to y'all, your only combat asset, you don't even know how far away it is, they're reviving their other combat asset. And could possibly get more combat assets depending on how much Manaito can heal, which you don't know. So why don't you take out the only factor to the equation by shooting Manaito in the head? What, because you're afraid of the Saiyans? The Saiyans don't even want to fight you right now. Legitimately, they're leaving. I don't know. This chapter doesn't make sense. And then we get to see that Whis apparently planted a communicator on Goku when Goku wasn't looking. Has perception blitz. And, of course, Whis is annoyed that Goku interrupted him. And then Whis admits, well, he doesn't admit that he snitched, but he tells Goku that gas is coming at breakneck speed, and it's revealed that the clan can survive in space. The Heaters clan can survive in space. Okay, cool, I guess. I don't know. Then we get to see that Goku is told that, oh yeah, by the way, he probably gonna get to you in about 20 of your Earth minutes, so you better figure something out. And Manaito very clearly admits that 20 minutes of time is not enough to heal Granola. And while Vegeta just goes, I think, well, that's not his only word in the chapter, but that's all he can say. And then we get to see that Whis asks a question like, oh, speaking of plot points, hey Goku, how's your training with Ultra Instinct going? And Goku's like, not gonna lie, it's kind of whack, I can't really figure that out. And Whis is like, well, just don't copy me, figure out what you are, bruh, and make your own Ultra Instinct, bada bing bada boom. And this goes into a different thing, right? Unless I'm mistaken, and no, this may just be me, but Ultra Instinct is like the antithesis to what Goku is. Ultra Instinct is really, 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 really good for fighting. I will admit, it's amazing for fighting. But the whole calm heart thing that requires Ultra Instinct, the whole previous arc that we went through, Goku getting understanding and control of his emotions, going through essentially what Random Time, what Meliodas went through, instead of being consumed by his wrath, consuming his wrath and turning it into a sea of calm in order to achieve Ultra Instincts, him going back to what he is, a Saiyan, that ain't gonna help, because they're all about rage, anger, power up. Like, what? I thought that was Vegeta's arc for this arc, and I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was Vegeta who had gotten too far away from his Saiyan heritage, and the Saiyan heritage ties perfectly into the Akai Shin power that he's trying to learn. So I thought this whole arc of discovering what you really are and maybe recontextualizing your relationship to the Saiyans would be something that Vegeta was doing, considering the Saiyans very much match a pattern of destruction, or the gods of destruction and their Hakai, in comparison to the Angels' Ultra Instinct. I'm sorry, when I think of the Saiyans, I don't think of the Angels. I don't think of Ultra Instinct. And the thing was, Goku's whole goal was to get further and further away from that so he could become something beyond a Saiyan. Quite literally. But I guess not. Maybe he needs to not do that. And for some reason, right, Bonaito stops healing Granola, even though they don't have the time. Like, they don't even have time for when Gas gets back to finish healing Granola. But they go out of it. Bonaito decides, you know, this is the perfect time for me to go instead of using all our optimal time to try and heal Granola, I'm gonna go get out this old scouter. And why now? Bonaito, you have minutes, seconds. Well, not seconds, but who knows how long the rest of the drive took. But, like, you at least, at best, have, like, 19 minutes. Let's say the drive only took 1 minute. You have 19 minutes to heal Granola. See, so many G's. But the like button is free, and also, the subscribe button is free, too. They don't tell you about that. But the thing is, for some reason, Bonaito thinks this is the time to go and get Bardock's old scouter that he left behind, and it was left behind by Bardock himself, and now is the time for Goku to have it. Like, he's not about to die when Gas gets back, or technically, once again, he should have died. Whatever, stop the power scaling. But still, this means nothing to Goku. Like, up until the point at the very end of this chapter, this means nothing to Goku. And also, it means nothing to the only way y'all can survive right now, since Goku's apparently being too stupid to teleport y'all out of there. Even though he very easily could if he can still go blue. And all he needs to do is bring up that King Kai in his head. But, like, whatever. Why are we doing this now? I don't know. This feels strange. Like, why are we doing this right now? This is, once again, like I said, this chapter feels like, tonally wise and now content wise, it feels like it should be way earlier in the arc. We're supposed to be building up to a denouement. We're not supposed to be starting the show. Like, this feels like we're doing something completely different. We're resetting again, and I don't know why. And we have this whole moment where we're stalling for page time, where they say, hey, we can try and use the scouter to figure out how to beat Gas, but at the same time, when Vegeta says, oh no, it's broken, but then Gas's oatmeal, I keep saying Gas's, it's not Gas, it's Granola. Oatmeal essentially is like, oh, I can access the audio via my speakers. Okay. And Gas is flying back, and notably we get to see that Gas is traveling that distance without a spaceship, and that's cool and all, I guess. But he, as essentially, Oatmeal loads up the old kits and gets all the data working, and we get to hear Bardock's voice, or at least in the manga, we're hearing, for the first time in forever, we're hearing Bardock's voice in the modern day. And notably, this stirs up something in Goku upon the line stay alive, and he gets a whole, like, the bump on his head is finally overwritten, and he gets to see Gine and Bardock sending him off. And it sends this shock through Goku. He's realizing who he is. But then we cut away from that to the past, so we get to see Bardock was fighting Gas as he was a whole toddler, and he just couldn't do anything to Gas. And they essentially start fighting. And notably, this is still a base Gas. Like, he hasn't... Notably, now that I look at him... Hold on, let me take a gander. Where is his inhibitor? Isn't it the tooth things? Where are they? He's in control right now, so he's not... Oh, wait, double hold on. So I guess this is earlier... So, yeah, he does go into his Berserk state. Like, notably, he does. But right now, maybe the H on his chest is the limiter that's holding him back? Does he not have that in the future? Let me see. Hold on. Let me go all the way back. Actually, no, let me just go forward in the chapter a little bit when he... Yeah, so the heaters thing is on there. So I wonder, why is he... Unless it's hidden, maybe he has it, I don't know, in his undies. Like, he's somehow staying calm, even though he doesn't have a limiter thing on him. And we know he does transform into that crazy beast state. Bardock doesn't just beat him down in this state. But of course... And I guess it is kind of cool to see that Gas is interested in Bardock because of how he fights and how powerful he is. But at the same time, essentially the end of the chapter just ends with Gas and Bardock squaring off because Bardock cannot escape Gas. Yada yada, they fight. I'm sorry. I know I went like the most important part of the chapter to some people, but I don't. It just feels inconsequential. And here's the thing, right? Overall thoughts of the chapter. I like aspects of it. I really do. I think the main thing I like is some of the personality of some characters in this chapter. Like, I really like how Goku's portrayed here. I think it's the most, like, playful savage he's ever been. Like, this is almost some Super Saiyan level 4 level disrespect that he's doing to Gas. Like, literally burying him in poop somehow and dragging him, like, straight into the bath of the Galactic King. Like, that's some next level stuff. I like the plan. Even though I think it's a very big waste, I like the plan to teleport Gas super far away and then teleport all the way back to planet Cereal so you can buy some time, even though I think there are like 15 other things he could have done. Maybe not 15. Broly, Kinkai, Earth. So 3 other things he could have done. But literally 3 other things he could have done to optimize his answer to that. But he, for some reason, just decided to go back to planet Cereal. Okay. But in terms of good things, I like that. Artwork is still good. It's very kinetic in this chapter, I'll give it that. But outside of that, the actions of some of the characters don't make sense. Whether it be Vegeta not fighting back against the Heaters while he has the chance, or the Heaters not fighting back against Vegeta, and the guy healing Granola while they have the chance. For some reason, the power scaling just doesn't work for me. A blue UI Goku who should be still heavily fatigued, even with Vegeta's little bit of ki, somehow is keeping up with the literal strongest in the universe at the moment, Gas. Okay, I guess. For some reason, we snitched. Okay, I guess. For some reason, we're taking the time out to have another Bardock flashback, even though Gas will be here on a murderous rampage in about 20 minutes, and we're not going to heal Granola or anybody right now. Okay, I guess. Like, it feels like whatever building we were doing to a climax of sorts has hard reset because we needed to get more backstory. But, like, think of it. And to be fair, I haven't read the Frieza arc or the Cell arc in a while. But correct me if I'm wrong here. Imagine if in the middle of the fight with Perfect Cell, we were teleporting everywhere. Well, no, see, like, the thing is, I can't even think of an example of what you would do. Say in the middle of the fight with Cell, they just stopped fighting. Like, they say they were flying all around the planet, but not touching the ground. And then Goku, in the middle of fighting Cell, was like, actually, I need to take a break. I need to go review what my Grandpa Gohan did to beat somebody in the past. See ya, and then teleports away, and then we have a whole side period. It just feels weird, right? Like, none of this chapter feels logical to me. But that may just be me. Please tell me what you guys think about this chapter. I'm really interested to hear. Please tell me in the comment section down below. I'd give the chapter probably, like, the things I like in it weigh a lot less than the things I don't like in it. Like, even the Raditz reference is cool, but, like, I give it a 6 to a 7. Probably 6.5 is probably what I give it, right? Because I don't think it's good enough to be a 7, but I don't think it's bad enough to be a 6. So 6.5. But those are my thoughts on the chapter. Please tell me your thoughts on the chapter in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you hit that little notification bell so you miss out on any videos that come on the channel. Also, please do me a favor. I do have a Patreon down below where you can support me for as low as $1 a month. Any support would be appreciated. Thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off.